Well, hello there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Christel Crawford Show. Welcome to Toronto. Welcome to this episode. So, hi. You guys get to see my slightly messy hotel room here. I'm believing it. We're doing it. So, I am in Toronto for like 4 days. I live in London, Ontario now, so it's like almost 2 hours away from Toronto, but I came into Toronto with my partner, my new partner, Andres, who's got some training here. So yeah, I've just been connecting with everybody here. I had an incredible coffee this morning with two of the creators here in London, or in Toronto, and so we're going to be creating some really fun classes and ways for you guys to get involved. But that is not the topic of today's video. Hi, everybody. Hello, Christiane, Maruna. Hi, Deb. Hi, Bronwyn. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Heather. Hi, Karen. Hi, Liga. Nice to see you guys. Hi, Lisa. Hey, guys, will you share this for me so we can get more people on with us? God, what would it take to have 100 people live with us every week? You guys could create that. I know it. I called this week's episode Avoidance. Where are we doing it? What does it mean about us? And what tools can we use to change it? We just finished. We didn't really finish, but we just came through. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Julia. We just came through, a big group of us, 250 of us, a 5-day challenge that I put together. You might have seen it. I called it Relentless Profit, the 5-day challenge. And it was a doozy. It was a doozy for me to put together, and I was really, hi, Lisa. I was really aware that it was a doozy for the people going through it, but we just got off a live Zoom call together. We're leading into a 6-month program called Relentless Profit, a business coaching program with me. And so this topic got created out of the awareness of what showed up for a lot of people in the challenge. And I pretty much lost like 2/3 of everybody on day 2. But on day 2, I started asking everybody to become aware of, hey guys, I see you, to become aware of things that we normally avoid, right? One of the things that I had everybody look at was cash flow. How is it working? Are you aware of your cash flow? Do you even know what comes out when? Are you putting in systems to be aware of it, or are you avoiding it? The other thing we looked at was income creation, which is another thing that a lot of people don't necessarily look at, et cetera, et cetera. So I find for me that avoiding things or not avoiding things is something I'm continually dealing with. You know, I am continually walking into more presence with more awareness of different areas of my life. You know, I'll find different areas of my finances that I've been avoiding forever, and then finally I'll just turn around and face them. And it turns out they're not as hard to deal with, and they're not this big scary beast. And they got easier when I just got present with them. And so my question for you is, 1, are there any areas of your life you're currently avoiding? Let's start with that. Are there? Are you avoiding looking at being present with your body? Are you avoiding getting present with your finances? Are you avoiding getting present with your past expenditures? Are you avoiding getting present with your relationships or one of your relationships? Are you avoiding getting present with yourself? Are you avoiding getting present with success? Are you avoiding getting present with what you're aware of? And I'm noticing, even as I'm creating this verbal list, that what it is avoidance of presence. Now, the thing about presence is it's not hard work, but it takes courage. It takes courage to get present with what you think is wrong with you, which is why we would avoid anything in the first place. We avoid success, and we avoid what we think is wrong with us. For the most part, that sums it up. So I'm going to give you a few clearings, or 1 or 2, I don't know how many, to begin to deal with this, that you can use to begin unraveling some of the unconsciousness creating this for yourself. And I'm going to use the clearing statement. So if you're new to that, go to theclearingstatement.com and you can check that out. But let's do this. What stupidity are you using to avoid you or you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So what stupidity are you using to avoid getting present with you? Are you choosing? and everything that is times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. I want to give you one more from, no, we're not going to go there. So what stupidity are you using, hi Aurelia, to avoid getting present with money? Are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. What stupidity are you using to avoid success? Are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate all that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now, what I love about the Access Consciousness tools, whether it's a clearing statement or a question or an invitation into choosing more, is that every single friggin' tool is designed to get you present with what's really true. And what's really true is never that you're fucked up. That never turns out to be what's really true. I facilitate a lot of classes, a lot of coaching, a lot of classes, I facilitate a lot of things. And I never ever, not even once, find that when I'm in a facilitation with somebody that we discover they're more fucked up than we thought they were. Oh geez, God, you're worse than I thought. Oh God, you really are fucked up. That never happens. That never. What always happens is we discover that there's a greatness underneath the judgment that they thought they had that was so real that they've been avoiding being. And when we do these clearings, like what stupidity are you using? Stupidity is unawareness. You have to make yourself stupid to not know. I have to make myself stupid to not be aware. I have to make myself stupid about money to not have money. I have to make myself stupid about a relationship I'm in to ignore my awareness. Do you see? You have to make yourself stupid to not actually have what you're aware of. And all of us are aware of shit. Things ping you all the time. Your finances will ping you. Your relationship with your mom will ping you. It's time to do this show now. It's time to write this book. Things will ping you. So are you using your awareness to create more, or are you avoiding it? Now, I want to add to this that awareness doesn't equal comfort. There's this, I keep looking over here to my computer because I'm right in the middle of reading and studying again this book, Blessed Possibilities by Gary Douglas. And literally everything that Wesley and I read today in our call that we're doing right now was about comfort, being a comfort junkie, being a discomfort junkie, and this other thing that was so good that I don't want to say it. Acknowledging your reality. So I highly recommend this book. Like, I actually, if you go to my website, so christeljoycrawford.com/myfavorite-things, you can find Blessed Possibility on there and buy it from there. But where was I going with that? I was talking about comfort. Everything that you're aware of and everything that you're capable of and all the success that's truly available to you is on the other side of comfort. And what I see a lot of, especially in business coaching, because business is this crazy English word that we use to contain the reality that is you creating more in the world. We got to call it something, so we call it business. Okay, fine. But in the creation of business, you to get to different levels, to increase revenue streams, to up your bottom line, to do all those things, you have to be willing to step up and be more. Now, what's interesting to me about this step up and be more thing is that we're never asked to be something we can't choose. We're always asked to be something that we can choose and just aren't choosing. So what are you actually capable of choosing that you just won't? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And this is where I love how the core awareness challenge, as I've called it, the awarenesschallenge.com, you can go there, is what would it take to be willing to live the energy? What would it take to be willing to choose what I can actually choose? What would it take to be willing to succeed? What would it take to be willing to be great? What would it take to be willing? Because if I was just willing, it's already there. I already am that. I already can. That's the weird, that's where we go, I'm stuck. So in the stuck place, in the avoidance place, is that moment where you go, well, I either stay stuck and I make that a problem, or I run a clearing like, well, what stupidity am I using to be stuck? Am I choosing? Or what stupidity am I using to avoid? Am I choosing? Because we always have a choice. You can choose to stay stuck and make that a problem, or you can choose to change it. And this is where the tools come into play. And you can use any access consciousness tool to change anything, by the way. This is where they become the most versatile set of things you've ever come in contact with in your life. And if you want the core set of tools, go study the 10 Keys to Total Freedom. Again, go to ChrystelJoyCrawford.com, my favorite things, and you can find the 10 Keys to Total Freedom. That book will give you the 10 keys to total freedom. Total freedom. Total freedom. Total freedom. No need to avoid anymore what it is we're actually aware of. So let's circle back around to avoidance and go, well, okay, so where are you doing it? We already sort of talked about that. What does it mean about you? That's a trick question because it means nothing about you. But it could show you where you're avoiding success. So if you avoid presence with your finances, are you avoiding success, yes or no? If you avoid presence in a relationship, particular relationship, just look at one, are you avoiding success in that area? And what does that even mean? I don't know exactly what that means because success is so relative to you and what you want to succeed at. But I could tell you so many goddamn stories about where I haven't had the conversation I know I need to have, or I haven't wanted to look at what I know I need to look at, what I'm truly aware of with this person that I don't want to know. I mean, like, I have 82 billion stories about that in regards to me and relationships from my mom and dad on. And I'm writing this book right now called The Possibility of Pain, and half of it's a transcript, but half of it's going to be written by me and maybe some of my team members. And so I was writing this particular story like I do, and out of my mouth, my pen mouth, every other sentence was like, yeah, I became aware of this, but I pushed it aside. Yeah, I became aware of this, but I pushed it aside. Yes, I became aware of this, but I ignored it again. And as I was trying to tell you the story, I became aware of like how many times I became aware of something and just ignored it, pushed it under the rug, didn't do anything about it, didn't pay attention to it, negated me, refused my aware. I was like, okay, I knew this was a good story, but I didn't know it was like that good, So how much awareness of where people are functioning from have you been refusing? If you're a comfort junkie, you're going to refuse awareness all the time because you believe that if you had your awareness, it would be uncomfortable and you'd have to do something about it. But it doesn't mean that. It just means you'd have awareness. And you may choose to do something about it, but you may not. So it's like, how many decisions and judgments and computations and conclusions do you have about what having awareness means you have to do? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all names, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So, okay, so we looked at, what are you avoiding? What does it mean about you? Well, it means nothing, but what do you think it means about you? What are your judgments of you for avoiding looking at money? What are your judgments of you for avoiding looking at your relationships? What are your judgments of you for avoiding looking at what it takes to change or be with your body? What are your judgments of you for avoiding organizing things so that your business and your life can run more smoothly? See what I'm saying? You want to extrapolate that question out and then use your tools. Everything that is, all of those judgments, just destroy and uncreate them. Keep destroying and uncreating them until they lose their charge. Okay? Because the more you judge you, the more you hold it in place. So you're avoiding, which isn't necessarily working, and then you judge you for avoiding, which stops working, and then you stick the avoidance in place because you're judging. So listen, guys, the way to change anything is to change the judgment of it. Once you have allowance for you, you can change anything. Getting to allowance, being willing to choose allowance as a point of view of you, seems to be the process for most of us, which is where almost every single access consciousness tool comes into play. Use Whichever one you choose. Pog and pod, pog and pod, pog and pod, pog and pod. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. And then, and I know I'm talking about like what could be a 5-year process in about 30 minutes, but after you've looked at what am I avoiding, what does it mean about me, or what have I decided it means about me, then you want to look at, well, what can I do to change it? Now that is a creative question. Now these other two, also creative in a different way. They're like, you're choosing in that first moment to get present with you as you are. And sometimes the State of the Union of things isn't the sexiest State of the Union. I get it, trust me. I've had to face so many different uncomfortable things that I judged about me. But my life is different because of it. You guys may have noticed some changes. I have more peace, more ease, more money, more clients, more presence with me, more communion with me than I've ever had before. Because I keep going after these things that I haven't wanted to look at. Now, you may not have as much choice as me. Or do you? Do you have more? So this is where this process comes in of going, okay, so if I keep avoiding this thing, what's that going to create? If I get present with this thing and make some different choices, what's that going to create? Which of those choices is going to create the reality you'd like to have? Choice creates, guys. Choice creates. The choice to avoid creates all the things that it creates. And the choice to get present and face it and make a different choice also creates. What's the future you'd like to have? You're the source. You're the source. Your choices are the source of the future you're having. The now and the future. You're the source. So when you go into trauma and drama and avoidance and all the problem of it, then that creates a future. When you go into, okay, never mind about the trauma and the drama. I've got this thing. I'm going to get present with it. And what would I like to create here that I haven't looked at? You've got to begin to ask yourself a different kind of question. What would I like to create here that I haven't created yet? And what would that even take? And guess what? The only time a different thing can show up is when you're willing to get present with it and ask a question. Like, okay, fine, I'm going to look at this. You know, my relationship with my mom is shit. I seem to be the common denominator. What would I have to change totally to have a different reality here? Okay, my finances have gone unlooked at long enough. I put off my taxes for 3 years. I haven't filed. I haven't even looked at my books. What the fuck do I have to do different to change this? That's it. This is changing. And that right there is like a picture of a demand. Like what demand you have to be for you for things to change. And it's going to look different for all of you. And you may not want to face everything all at the same time, or you may. I don't know. How brave are you? But how brave are you that you haven't looked at or claimed? How courageous are you? I mean, you're here. You're in the access consciousness world in any way. Are you braver and more courageous than you've ever let yourself know? And what if you used that bravery and that courage to begin to create a different future for yourself in these places in your life where you've been avoiding? It's like Gary and Dane handed us this massive toolbox of going, here's your tools. What do you want to do with them? You want to create a house? Do you want to create a castle? Do you want to like carve your own head in? You can do that too. That's fine. Consciousness includes it. Consciousness will just use your body to feed the trees. You can do that if you want. Do you want to be a gift? Do you want to be a curse? Do you want to create more freedom in your own life? Do you want to create more judgment in your own life? We got a tool for that. You can use interesting point of view to judge yourself. But true interesting point of view has space for you to be just as you are, and space for you to create another choice. True interesting point of view is total caring and allowance for you. Not, well, interesting point of view, I have this point of view, which is total judgment. So, you have to judge you to avoid. Anything you're avoiding is something you're judging yourself about. But what if you didn't have to judge you? What if you could just have awareness? So on that note, I want to run this last clearing that I got from Blessed Possibilities. You guys want to hear it? So good. Okay, so this is the last clearing I want to give you. What have you made so vital about comfort that you would give up all awareness in order to keep it? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy it and create it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What have you made so vital about comfort that you would give up all awareness in order to keep it? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy it and create it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So are you avoiding to maintain comfort? And is comfort worth cutting off the awareness that you actually have that would create something greater? It might be more valuable to you right now, but what if it wasn't? Where did you guys, this is Gary talking, where did you guys buy the idea that awareness is not comfortable and it's not valuable and it's going to get in the way of your having a sense of comfort? And everything that is times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And I'll read this last thing to you because this is so good. You guys got to go pick up Blessed Possibilities. If you go seeking comfort, what you don't do is create massive amounts of wealth, massive amounts of choices, or massive amounts of possibilities. You can live a little tiny life, happy in your 1,000 square meter house, thinking that you are living elegantly and fabulously. So what have you made so vital about comfort that you would give up awareness in order to keep it? And everything that is times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And it was really this space from which I created the next program. It's, if you go to christeljoycrawford.com/relentless, there's a 6-month program starting on Friday. And what I got, I'm getting the gift of me. It's an ongoing thing. But one of the gifts of me is the fact that I am relentless in choosing more and greater and faster and better and more. And it is also a capacity that a lot of us have that we tend to use against ourselves. We tend to use it to avoid. We relentlessly avoid things. We relentlessly judge ourselves. We relentlessly, right? Like all these sort of negative things, I guess, if you will. But what if we relentlessly created? What if you relentlessly created allowance for yourself? What if you relentlessly demanded that you got out of judgment? What if you relentlessly demanded that you profit from being in the world personally? You know, are you currently profiting from being you? Financially, spaciously, energetically? Are you receiving the fortune of you? Or are you relentlessly refusing it and relentlessly refuting it and relentlessly denying it and relentlessly avoiding it? See, this capacity for relentless has a lot of applications. So how are you using your capacity for relentless creation? Are you using it to create forward, or are you using it to destroy you, or are you doing both? And so, you know, we have a new choice in every 10 seconds, a fucking gift of choice. What would you like to create? Morning, Christel. This is seriously giving me a headache. So much of everything you've said throughout this is going on repeat until it stops sticking. I love that you have such an impact on my life. I know sometime soon I too will be relentless in my life to create all the things. Thank you, Claire. Yeah. And, you know, I've just come to terms with the fact that I'm going to be one of those facilitators that's always in your face about how great you are. And it's probably going to give you a headache because how much do you avoid being as great as you are? A little bit or a lot? So what stupidity are you using to avoid your greatness are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all, shorts, boys, and beyonds. You're so invited into the next 6 months too, of course. christeljoycrawford.com/relentless. And if you know anybody, when you look at that page, that would be a gift for, would you just tell them about it? Because what would it take to really just change everything? Are you one of the people who came here to create something different? And if you are you doing it? And if you're not, when would you like to start? I'll see you next week.